Hi guys. So it has been a long time, like months, since I have done an art video. And I'm just gonna play with a journal page that I started. I slapped on some paint from something I had done previously. I try not to ever waste paint on my palette. I throw it onto a journal page. This is the book that I bought months ago at the flea market. I love the size. And I've had a blast. Sometimes I just throw paint on and I still have something more I will do to something like that. This one I just threw on some pink and yellow, and this is what it came out with. And then I started just sketching on it. I sat down a while ago and I'm like, I hate the placement of her eye. I'm so out of practice with all of this. But I've decided I just need to do something. And I can't find my freaking eraser anywhere. So you know what? I'm going to make it work the way it is. So I want to bring it down like this. All right, and so I don't know. I'm going to see how it works. So the reason I kind of held off a few months ago is because I was having back problems and stuff, and I had to finally just, I went out on leave from my job at the hospital, and I don't know if you know much about the tide of the medical field these days, but CEOs want to make more money and get million-dollar bonuses, and to do that, they cut staffing and make you do a whole lot more. And so my age, my previous health, and my back were not being kind to me. So I went out and I decided after I was out for a little bit that I just didn't think I could go back. And it just wasn't worth staying sick. I was staying sick from the patients who I loved, but you know, every 3 months I was just spending 3 weeks of it sick. So I started teaching online, and I teach English to these darling little children in China. And so I have been building that up and working at that and getting used to everything and my setup and all that. I love what I do. So you're going to find on this channel that there will be some things about the company's called VIP Kid. And I've always wanted something I could do at home that I didn't have to sell. Everybody talks about home-based businesses. Yeah, but it's parties and selling and demos and all this kind of stuff. I didn't want to do that. So this requires a bachelor's degree, but it doesn't require an education degree, even though I do have an education degree. Music education, but still, it's all the same education courses that you take to get a regular education degree, only just a whole lot more because I have to have all the music stuff on top of it. So I had that in my background, but I hadn't used it, and so anyway, that's all they require is a bachelor's degree, and I think 2 years of working with children. Well, by the time you get my age, you've had that. Your own children, other people's children, Sunday school, camps, homeschooling for me. So anyway, I'm just going to throw some paint on here. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I just want to play. So anyway, that's where my time's been the last few months. And so I haven't been doing these videos, and I miss it. And I can tell you how I knew I needed to get back in here. And I did read a sweet comment on YouTube from someone who said she missed seeing my videos, and I thought it was very sweet. And it kind of got me thinking that, yeah, I do want to get back to it because I need to. Art is something that I use for therapy. Hobbies should do that for all of us, whatever your hobby is. And so this is mine. And so I need it. And the reason I felt I need it is I have been doing a lot of reading lately about things like manifesting what we want out of life, with our thoughts, how we bring either good things into being or bad things into being just because of the frequency of our thought patterns. And I totally agree that there's so much to that. If you allow yourself to just think negatively about things, you're going to have a rotten day. There's just no way you're not. So, and I've been also learning that you can't monitor every single thought you have all day, but you can monitor your feelings. And I can feel myself getting anxious lately. And at the time that I'm doing this video, the coronavirus that began in China has now made its way to our shores. And So people are panicking. They're, you know, you can't find toilet paper in any stores right now. It's crazy. And I went out to get a few things today, and I just had, maybe a week's worth of groceries, if that, and I was not even that, and it's just me. So I didn't want to, stock up like it was going into a nuclear bomb shelter or something, but other people were, so it took me forever to get through the lines today. So I could feel all this anxiety, and I've decided I'm getting off of Facebook because it's all anybody wants to talk about right now, and I don't want to think about it because I start getting that anxious feeling that I don't want to have. So I'm back at my journaling. All that to say, here I am again. So I'm going to try to do less editing type videos because I simply don't have the time for all of that or the desire for all of that. So I may lose some people because I'm just going to do, very simple type videos. You're going to see the message. You're going to hear the flubs and whatever I say. It's just going to be raw. Raw. That sounds better than unplanned and unedited. Raw. So I'm just getting some other colors on this page. Brush strokes. I just like the brush stroke looks. And like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just slapping color down because that's what I enjoy with all this. And I just picked out a few colors that I like. I don't know if they go together on the color wheel. I haven't brought out the color wheel. That just requires more planning than I was planning to do today. So, I have sketched her out with the, I'll try to tell you some things that as I go. The Stabilo All pencil made by Aquarelle. I get these on Amazon. I just get a couple at a time when I get them. And they last for a while. But you can sketch with them, but they're going to move. Now, it's not like a regular pencil. When you add water to it, it's going to become like a watercolor pencil. I like that. I like that kind of messy, the messy lines it gives. See there, how it's just going to kind of smear that. So I like that. That doesn't bother me at all. And I really like being able to put it on there and then move it around like that. So I'm not doing a whole lot with her. I did want to do, something having to do with her hair a little bit. So I need to pull this out every so often to see what I've got. Because I've got that little sheet behind to protect the next page. All right. So let's see. I think I will do something, maybe a defined lip. We'll see. Ooh, got out too much. I love this color. It is, I'll tell you what it is. Ceramicoat Fuchsia Pearl. So it's not a super glittery. It's just got a soft pearlescence. And I'm going to have a lot of color left on this palette, so I'm going to be doing some more pages in one of these albums with it. All right, so when I put this down, of course it's picking up, some of that pencil, and it's giving a dark outline. That's fine. I can just kind of wipe off some of it and then go in and fill. So again, I don't know how much of her I want to do. I might want to keep her just really, loose and not much color. I might do a little bit on the eyes. And then I'll put just a couple little righty. So maybe I'll bring in this blue again. It's kind of unusual for eye color, but I like it. Bring this in for the eyes. And then what I think I will do is just kind of use a wet brush to move that line that's there around. Doing her little eyebrows. So when I'm trying to, like I said, you can't monitor every thought, but you want to try to keep your thoughts in a positive vein. And so the best way to gauge your thoughts is I can feel when I'm getting tense and anxious about things. I can feel it. I mean, I'm becoming more and more aware of those, and I'm trying to, before I snap at someone or hole up in a little depressive knot or something about things I'm worried about. Now I'm recognizing the feeling, and so that's when I got up today and said, you know what, I need to get to my art. So I'm going to pull some of this down in here to give me a little shadowing. I haven't treated these pages. Now, the only thing I have done is I have glued a couple of pages together. So just to add a little bit more stability. And so I'm going to move some of this around now and get just a little bit of shadowing. I'm not going to go crazy with it. And I might even take my pencil and a little bit more darker. I gotta be careful because I didn't treat this anything, so I start putting too much on there. All right, so I'm gonna hold on to this, let this dry for just a second, and I want to get this paint down somewhere else. So I think I'll pull out my junk journal. I haven't really done much with this. I love the color I did. If you were with me when I put this together, it's got some, hand-painted papers. This is actually a bag that I did some hand-painted papers. There's just a little bit of everything in here. So I'm going to start slapping down. I think I'll use a dry brush. Start slapping down some of these colors. Ah, look at there, my scissors. See, I told you this is going to be raw. Raw and unedited. This is why I keep this really nasty old rag right here. Don't throw away towels, guys. If they get all ratty, this is what they're good for. Let's see, I'm going to I'll put that behind here. Steal it from the other book. This is a very flimsy, very old dictionary book page, so I'd be a little careful with it. Bring some more of this purple in here. And let me, it's been so long since I've been in here. These probably aren't even wet anymore, and they're not. So. I think what I'll do is I'll just pull a stencil out and take off some color. See what this does. I don't know if that's going to do much or not. I don't know. It's almost too wet. I got it a little bit too wet. That's all right. So let me go in and put some of this color in because I have some of this on this page already. So I'm going to and bring some over here. Love this color blue. It's like my new favorite. In fact, I bought a t-shirt like this recently and I've just worn it like crazy. It's just like my new favorite color. All right, I think I'm going to throw some down somewhere else as well. Now let me lay this over. And I'll probably go back to this, a couple more times before I actually put anything on the front of it. So I have my other little journal that I got at Walmart. And so let me see if I have, this is one I just totally play in. Okay, I've got some started back here. This is one of my little students that I teach in China. She actually drew a picture of me first and painted it. Oh, it was so gorgeous. I'll see if I can find it, and I might pop it in here, even though I said I wasn't going to edit. But she was so sweet to do. I said, okay, well, I'll do one of you. And so I did a little sketch of her on some paper that I had done this to. So let me, ooh, I like this. purple coming out with this color. That's pretty cool, huh? Like that. Let me get the purple on one side of my brush. I'm not going to smooth it in too much. I kind of like that. Little dog here that was stuck down, so I'll just go over it. Alright, so let me see. I think I'll just get the worst of that paint off. Put it into this pink. Ooh, so it's got some purple left on the brush. So I like what it does with that pink. Because this will add a little bit of sheen to the page, which I think is nice. I'll add a little white to it, see what that does. It brings in some softer lavenders. Sometimes I just throw this kind of stuff down and then I leave it for a while and I come back and I kind of see images in it. If you know what I mean. It just, you know, I can kind of look at it later and I'll go, oh, I see, I don't know, a chicken or whatever. I haven't ever seen a chicken. You never know, it might happen. But sometimes I can see, oh, I can put a face here because, you know, I kind of lean towards doing faces. But there's just something therapeutic about throwing it, just throwing it down here and seeing what happens. And I just can't stand wasting paint. It's just how I was brought up. When I was young, I remember I wanted to be an artist, and I had cousins that took art lessons. But I was already taking music lessons, and my parents couldn't afford to put me in everything. You know, I remember having to choose between dance and piano back in the day, and I chose piano. And I wanted to take art, but I knew we couldn't afford the lessons plus the art supplies. So I learned how to create art at home with minimal supplies, like magazine pictures and things like that. So I'm going to pick this up off my wall for a second and just show you. So that's how I got into doing these types of mosaic type pieces. Let me see if you can see this. So this was actually done with handmade papers that I had done with an Arnold Grummer paper making kit that I got at Michael's years ago. But I got started doing this type of thing by just cutting out magazine pictures, and I would kind of decide where I wanted light places and dark places, and I created pictures with glue, scissors, and magazines. I created my own mosaics back then. So I learned how to still be artistic. I just couldn't afford real artists, you know, things. So to this day, it still makes me, you know, want to be just a little bit frugal with my supplies and just not waste them. So I try to use any paint left over on the palette. I'm just going to get these brushes out of the water right quick. Some of the books that I have read that have gotten me on the path of looking at life in a more positive note. And as you know, if you've watched my previous videos, between cancer, the death of my husband, the death of my mom last spring, just within 2 years' time, I had so much dumped on me. And I thought I was handling it really well. I was trying to be very positive and all that. I'm pulling out some oil pastels here just to make marks because I just want to have some fun. But I think over time, I was struggling. I didn't know I was struggling. And so my brother gave me the book, The Secret. I'd heard of it, and I think I may even started reading it a long time ago, but I didn't finish it. Well, that started me thinking about a lot of things. And then I went on to just look at some videos and things like that. I like Wayne Dyer. He has some, he's no longer with us. He died a few years ago. But great motivational guy, and I listened to his like guided meditations and things on YouTube, or anything you read about the law of attraction. We attract things that we think about to us. Our thoughts actually go out on frequencies. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, what is it, quantum physics or whatever to it. So I need to get some other colors in here because I'm not liking just the pink. There we go. So now I know you're probably going, what are you doing? This is the part where I start getting nervous when I'm watching other people's videos. I'm like, I liked it right until you did that. But you know what? We're just playing. We're having fun. This isn't going to be curated in a museum anytime soon. It's just my book to play and have fun. So I'm trying to be very loose and just have a good time throwing color around and just see what happens. You never know what's going to happen. Might even try to put some, let's see. So oil pastels, I have some like soft, more chalk pastels, but I just kind of wanted to see what these would do today. I don't know if I'm going to like them or not, but they're not as dusty. So anyway, this was all to get me out of reading so much online about the coronavirus and getting all worried about everything, and it helps. So this is my daily prescription now. I don't know if I will video every one I do. I'll try to, if you don't get too picky about, you know, super editing. I'd like to be able to just kind of do like I'm doing now and throw it out there and see what happens. So these are really neat. These are Tim Holtz Ideology. They have a bunch of different words in them. And sometimes I like just to grab from these and there's so many great words. So, all right, I like attitude. I don't think I'm going to make any kind of sentence. I just want things that maybe I will. Okay. I like that. So these are Jane Davenport's little palette pastels. I haven't used these a whole lot. So I got them out the other day to try to do something with them. So I had something around here and I forgot what I saw it in. That's all right. Let's see. I'm just going to use one of the little daubers. I'm just going to get a little color around some of these little white pieces. I like this. I just didn't want the star quite on there. There's a little brush. All right, let me see if I like this. This is going to lay a lot more of it on here. Okay. Keep all my stuff together. I'm not doing a good job. It's just kind of all getting out here, so I've got to. All right, and let me see. I have some of these little pens that I also got from Jane Davenport that I have not used, and I need to. And I think these can be moved around a little bit with water too. Let me see. Yeah, I think these are the kind of things that if you do it, you know, fairly quickly, you can move the color around a little bit. Yeah, I like that. All right. So there is something more that I want to do with this, but I don't know that I have got it right now in my head, what that's going to be. Let's see. Let's put a little, I'll have to get that working again. In the meantime, let me see if this is, yeah. All right. When you're using something on top of acrylic, you want to make sure it's dry, and then you want to kind of rub this off on paper afterwards, so if there's any paint bits on it. Because these aren't cheap pens. These are Micron Pigma. This is one called Graphic One. And these are awesome archival black pens I really like. Now this, I haven't used in a while, so I think I'm having to really shake it up. This is what I like to use. It's a Sharpie water-based. They make it in alcohol-based. I like the water-based. I get these off Amazon too. And get it worked out. Yes. And you know what that's making me think I want to do? This is a, I'm going to put this on here just because I like it and I haven't used it yet. This is from a fortune cookie. You will have good luck and overcome many hardships. So I try to save stuff like that because I know I'm going to use it in my journal. And I think I'll just stick it right down here. And let me kind of marry it in too with some, use my oil pastels. And these are so old. I have a really strong purple in there. So I'll just bring out a blue because I have that kind of fuchsia. All right, that works for what I want. And the other thing I was thinking I would like to do is, let me see, let me use one of these little, well, no, I don't have to use one of those. So I'll put just a little bit of white on my, this is actually photo paper. So over Christmas, I worked at Cabela's in the Santa Land department taking photos with kitties. And it was this whole computer set up, and when you would change out, when it would run out of ink, you had to change the ink in the paper all at once. And so there was always paper left on the roll. Some of it came out pre-cut every time we tested photos. So I said, don't throw those away. I'll use them. So I'm just going to kind of get this wet and yeah, I like that. You can tell when I'm really concentrating because I stopped talking. Get that big piece off her nose. I don't want that. Alrighty. So, just a little bit more at the top. Sometimes I've hit the brush to do this, and it ends up going all over my table. So I'm trying really not to do that. I want a little on her face. I just don't want it covered. All right. I think that's going to do it for me. So that's it. How was that for fast and easy? And it felt good. It felt good to be back. So if you have any ideas or any words of encouragement or any questions, feel free to comment because I like the social part of the social media that is YouTube. And I thank you for watching, and I will try to come back more often and play, maybe tomorrow. Because I think as long as this pandemic talk is going on, I'm going to need to be here. So, and I hope you'll join me. I'll see you later, okay? Thanks for joining me. Bye.